looking at stuff on Instagram. Hey, what's up you guys? It's Ari. Welcome back to my channel, or if you are new here, hello, hi, my name's Ari. Welcome to my channel. The lighting today, terrible, weird, I know, I'm sorry. This is actually like blocking the light from my fan because it was putting a glare on the camera. So, we're trying. I hope the lighting's not too bad. Also, I cut my finger at work today. I've literally never cut my finger before, like cut myself at work before. And I handle it with the dicer and the slicer and the box cutter and scissors, and like I've never cut myself. I've worked there almost a year, and I cut myself today and it was bleeding everywhere, and then I had to bleach everything. It was fun. Sorry, that's not what the video is about. Today I thought I would do a Q&A while I dye my hair because I need to dye my hair. And you may say, Ari, your hair is already dyed. I know, okay? I'm aware. But it needs to be dyed more because it's fading and it's a gross color now. So yeah, I asked you guys for questions on Instagram and on Twitter, and for once, people actually ask questions. So that's what we're doing today. Oh, whoa. I have really random questions. I have a lot of questions about activism, some questions about, I printed them out. What even is this stuff? Yeah, a lot of random questions and then a lot of questions about activism. So if you're here for activism, it is in the video, I promise. Oh, and I think potentially a few about recovery. I don't really remember. So if you asked a question, it is included in the video. So make sure to stick around so you can find your question. I'm not going to explain what I'm doing with my hair throughout this video, but just know, just trust me. Okay, let's get into the video. Who is your most inspirational activist? Can you guess? Can you take a wild guess? Certainly not Greta Thunberg. It's Greta Thunberg. It's Greta Thunberg. And I know I just said Thunberg, but that's because that's how it's spelled. Yeah, no, it's Greta. It's Greta. Wow, look at that. My roots are like an inch long. That's disgusting. I'm not bleaching my roots in this Q&A. Yeah, no, like, I'm not even gonna lie, I'm not gonna try to be special and, like, come up with someone else. It genuinely is Greta. I think she's amazing. I think she handles the hate and the trolling really, really well. I cannot separate this out of my hair, so we're just not going to. We're similar in a lot of ways. We both have OCD. We both, have... I'm sorry, I'm not looking at you, by the way. I'm looking in the viewfinder as my mirror. We both have had eating disorders. We both are clown struts. She's actually born one day before me, so we're the same age. What else? We're just really, really similar. I mean, we've had really similar experiences with our mental health and with a lot of things, and she's just great. So yeah, it's Greta, and I'm not gonna like try to not be basic and say someone else because it genuinely is Greta. And I hope I can meet her one day. Next question. What would your dream hair look like? What color, long or short, etc.? My dream hair, is this even like, why isn't this working? I'm trying to mix a color right now, but it's not working. Okay, well, great. My dream hair color, or like hairstyle, would be like Alex Darmay's hair when she was like 16. I'll insert a picture here. Basically that, but maybe right now I really want like black and red, or like just bright red hair, like neon red. I think would be amazing. But I love her hair, and she did do it red and she did it like black and blue, and just I'm gonna insert like a ton of pictures just right here. Anyway, I love like the scene hair from the 2000s, 2008, 2014. Those were good years for hair. It's a vibe. I kind of have scene hair. I cut it so it's like scene hair kind of, but it doesn't look like scene hair. It just doesn't, if we're being honest, which is sad, but it's fine. That's what we're working with. That's what we're dealing with. That's just what I look like, and that's totally fine. Next question is rain or snow? Neither. I'm always cold. I would say rain. I would say rain because it's not as cold. it doesn't like stay on the ground and interrupt your life because there's snow everywhere. It's not as dangerous to drive in, and because thunderstorms are really fun. Favorite thing to do when you're resting / doing things for yourself. I love taking baths. And listen, guys, I know people are gonna get mad at me and hate me because I'm an activist, and they're gonna say, isn't taking baths bad for the environment? Yes it is. And I do not take a bath every single day. But sometimes, when I'm trying to relax, your girl takes a bath, okay? Not gonna lie about it, not gonna try to defend it. I'm just saying, taking baths is great. I got a bunch of bath stuff for Christmas, and I was really worried about if I wanted to put all the bath things I got in my what I got for Christmas video, because I didn't want people to try to call me out and try to be rude about me liking taking baths. But you know what? I like taking baths. I eat in the bath because I have a little tray in there. I love how Jojo Siwa has been staring at us this whole time. Yeah, no, I do actually enjoy taking baths. I like to read in the bath. I also do a lot of like research in the bath, which is kind of weird. But I'm very productive when I'm in the bath. So I enjoy baths. I also just really enjoy editing. Like, my favorite part actually of having a YouTube channel is editing. I like it more than I like filming, which is kind of weird, but I just really enjoy editing. And so I'll get on and edit as many videos as I can until I get kicked off the computer by a family member. So yeah, I think that's probably my favorite thing to do. How do you get so many speech / media requests? A couple people have asked me this, and so I promised I would put it in this video. And it's kind of hard to, like, I will explain how I get so many, but I also just want to say that I was being approached with speech and media requests before I even knew what that entailed. I started school striking last May. That was my first time, was in May, I think. Yeah, let's go with that. So that May I started striking, and then this girl named Raquel, who was already up there striking, it became like the two of us every week. And then the September 20th strike was getting closer, and we were getting bigger. We had more like contacts, I guess, in like the environmental world, if that makes sense, like environmental organizations in Utah. We knew more people, and so we started planning the September 20th strike, and that became like our first, maybe not the first, but like that became a really massive, huge strike. We ended up having about 2,000 people come, which for America and for Utah is an insane amount of people to show up to just like any political event, really, because we're very privileged here, and people think that politics, like, they don't understand that politics are so important and that they really affect people's lives. They just think that it's like a hobby almost, like, oh, I don't really get into politics. So it was huge, and since I was planning that I just was one of the speakers. Like, it was kind of just a thing, like, oh yeah, like, we want the youth to speak, and so Ari, you'll be a speaker. And I was like, yeah, I'll speak, because I really loved Greta, like I said, Greta, and she's how I got into all this, was because of Greta. And so I was like, I'm gonna be like Greta, I'm gonna give a speech. I had no idea how to do a speech. I never took debate in high school. I didn't, like, or in middle school, I did not know what I was doing at all. So I wrote a speech, and it was pretty good, I think, for my first speech. And then, actually, that day, I was reached out to by a singer named Glenn Hansard, who I love, and he's amazing. And my speech at his concert is up on my channel. Oh, and the September 20th. All my speeches are on my channel. I have a playlist called Speeches. But, he reached out and was like, I want a youth person to come and speak. Sorry if you can hear my family yelling. I want a youth to come speak at my concert, because he's a huge environmentalist and I love him so much. And so then that night, right after strike, I went home, took a shower, changed, and then I had to go back downtown. I didn't have to. I got to go back downtown to speak at his concert. And because it was on such short notice, I actually did not get to write a speech. I had to just completely wing it, which I had a panic attack. But then I did really well. I think it's a really good speech. In my opinion, like, compared to some of my other speeches. And so I had never spoken at anything in front of anyone, let alone 2,000 people, let alone at that huge theater downtown that he had me speak at. And so it was really crazy. And yeah, so that's kind of how it started. Like, at first I wasn't looking for media opportunities and like asking people to let me come and speak. It just, people wanted me to. And so I was like hell yeah, I'll do it. Like, I want to do that. That's something I'm into. I want to be like Greta, even though I didn't know what I was doing. And then again the next day I just dropped hair dye on my work pants. I was like, I shouldn't wear my work pants, and then I did. You know, I'm literally just gonna leave that there. I'm just leaving it there. It's fine. So yeah, at first I wasn't searching it out, but now I definitely do search it out, even though whenever I give speeches, I like really hate them, and I like get really insecure, and I think that I do terribly, and like speaking actually gives me so much anxiety, so I don't know why I keep searching it out, but I do. So how I do that now that, well, that's one thing, now that people know me. So now that people know me, when there's a speaking opportunity, they search me out because of, they know me, they've heard my speeches, they know that I speak places, like, and that I do speeches. So that's like the main thing, I think, is just that I do have a platform now and that I've done them before, which I'm sorry, that's not helpful if you haven't done speeches before and you're asking me how you can get speeches. But I mean, just growing your platform, like, I try to be really active and post on my social media once a day at least. Usually more when you include stories and tweets and stuff. So I try to just be really active because then people will see, like, they will see your social media, and if they follow you, you're gonna come up on their feed a lot. So then when they have an event going on and they're like, oh, I want like a youth activist, I want a youth voice, they're gonna be like, oh, and they're gonna think of you because you're always on their feed. And so they're, you know, like, they're gonna think of you because you're always in their head, basically. They always see you. Another thing is just, kind of like I said, we had contacts from a lot of different organizations. This is really slimy. Hair dye's gross. Let me go wash my hands. I'll be right back. Okay, anyway. Oh, I literally should have wiped that off of my pants while I was in the bathroom. Okay, it's fine. It's fine. We're just gonna wipe everything with this yellow towel. Anyways, sorry about that. Okay, so, like I was saying about how we had contacts for the September 20th strike, kind of the same thing. I have a lot of contacts from different organizations like Sierra Club. I don't know if I actually have contacts from Sunrise, but like Sunrise would just be an example. XR, kind of, not really anymore, but just other organizations, other climate organization, environmental groups, Southern Utah Wilderness Alliance, stuff like that. I look so cute right now. Kind of like I was saying about people on my social media, like, just because then they have me in their contacts, they've met me before, and so they know, like, when there's an event they want youth, which they usually do because they're trying to push youth to the forefront of this movement, which is great. A bunch of stickers just fell. Then they're gonna go, oh, I have Ari in my contacts, or oh, I know Ari, I know that girl, she can probably do it. So, I mean, it's really just putting yourself out there, I guess, like knowing people and being able, and then also, like, asking. I don't know if I've ever explicitly, like, really asked someone, be like, hey, can I please speak? But I always say, like, I would love to have an opportunity to participate in any way. Like, that's one thing that I will say. When people reach out and invite me to an event, I'll say, thank you so much for the invite. I am so excited to come. I would like to be able to participate in any, I always say, any and every way that's possible. And so sometimes if it's just an invite, then they're like, awesome, great, here's like the program, you can come to the workshops. Other times they'll be like, they'll ask you, they'll say like, hey, what, like, how do you want to, like, get involved? Do you want to run a workshop? Do you want to help with this? Do you want to MC this event? Do you want to speak? And they'll give you options, and you can, like, basically tell them what you want to do, and they'll let you, especially with youth. They love to get youth involved, and so they'll be down just to, like, ask you, hey, what do you want to do? How do you want to get involved? Let's do it. Also, I organize a lot. So if I'm organizing an event, and we're going through a list of speakers, I can put myself on the list of speakers if I have something to say. And then just kind of like I said with having contacts, like if you have contacts of other people, other organizations, and they're organizing, and they might want your opinion on something, or they might want you to help organize a piece of it, then again, you're in that process, you're able to say like, hey, let me speak, like, I want to speak. That was so long-winded, and everyone who isn't an activist looking for speaking opportunities left. So sorry about that. Why are you so cool? Why are you so cool, Grace? Why are you so cool? Favorite 21 Pilots song? That's a good question, actually. All of them? I mean, no, because I definitely have favorites. Pilot, I swear to God, if you knock my camera over, it's over. I'm dyeing you pink. It's really difficult to choose a favorite 21 Pilot song. I will say one that like never gets old is Neon Gravestones, and I think that's just because it has such good lyrics and such a good message. You're blocking my light so I can't see what color my hair is. Can you not? Go. Get off. Do not sit down. Do not sit down. Thank you. Goodbye, babe. Sorry about him. How old were you when you got into Harry Potter? Also, do you prefer the books or the movies? Listen, I do not like watching movies. I don't know why. I just can't. Like, they don't entertain me. They're annoying. They frustrate me. I don't know why. The only time I really watch TV is if I'm having a mental breakdown and there's like literally nothing else for me to do and being on my phone is like upsetting, or if I'm like working on my phone and I just need something in the background, I guess, then I'll watch TV. So I don't love the movies, so I'm not even gonna lie. I've read all the books multiple times and listened to them on audiobook multiple times because I love them so much. Oh, also, how old was I? So I tried to read it when I was in 2nd grade because everyone was like, read Harry Potter, and my mom was like, read Harry Potter, and I was like, okay, fine. So I tried to read it, and I read the first book, and I literally hated it so much. So I grew up hating Harry Potter with a fiery passion, and I hated how everyone was like trying to push it on me, and I just thought it was stupid. And then my friend Megan, Sick Art, who is in some of my videos, and she has a channel, which is always linked in the description under check out my friends' channels. She was reading it, she's like, you have to read it, and I was like, no, and then I did, and then, fun fact, she never even finished the first book, but now I'm obsessed. So that was in freshman year, I think that was freshman year that happened. But yeah, so I love the books a lot more than the movies because I'm not gonna lie, first and second movie are actually good because they're like word for word, like scene by scene, exactly like the books almost, and I love that. Once you get to the third one, they changed directors, so they kind of started branding themselves with like the Harry Potter movies, as opposed to the first two where it was like, they were trying to copy the book exactly. When they got the new director, he was like, Harry Potter movies, but I was like, no, do the book, copy the book. I look like an e-boy. What are your favorite things to draw? Okay, so my cousins all draw. They're artists, so I grew up around my cousins, and it's not coming off. And so growing up, I just drew whatever they drew because I would just copy their drawings. Everything that I know how to draw is because I've just copied my cousins. I'm not an artist. I don't really draw. It's just not what I do. Sun or winter? Sun. Winter is stupid. Is the Great Salt Lake really salty? Actually, it is very salty. It is saltier than the ocean. Fun fact, the salt content is like, not the ratio, but like the percentage, that's a ratio. Like, just like the concentration of salt is actually saltier than the ocean because it used to be a lot bigger and it was like as salty as the ocean, but then it got smaller and all the salt just like condensed. That might be wrong, but that's what I was taught in school, so if that's wrong, then it's not my fault. It's actually so salty that if you fall in, you will not feel good because it will get in, I need to get this off of my face. It'll get in your eyes, in your nose, in your mouth, in your ears, and it will burn. So, don't go swimming in the Great Salt Lake. What is your favorite JoJo Siwa song? So, you guys already probably noticed the JoJo Siwa poster staring at us. Listen, my favorite kind of music is deathcore and metalcore and emo stuff. And I'm alternative. I'm so into punk stuff right now. It's like a vibe. But I also I like JoJo Siwa. I'm not gonna lie, and I'm not going to apologize for it. I like JoJo Siwa, okay? Like, I started watching her when I was in a very, very, very dark place in my life. I think the year that I went to the hospital the most times, maybe. So yeah, it was a terrible, terrible part of my life. And JoJo Siwa built her current brand after she left Dance Moms on confidence and anti-bullying. It was actually originally anti-bullying was like her whole thing, and it still kind of is. Now it's like all about positivity and like having fun. But originally it was about confidence and anti-bullying, and I was getting brutally bullied and other bad things. And so I actually had to leave school that year because they said, we can't keep you safe from the bullies, so you need to leave for your own safety. So that sucked. And so at that time when I was in middle school and I was being bullied, I don't know what, this was not the question, but I was being bullied, I was self-harming a lot, I was very suicidal, it was terrible. I was going to the hospital all the time because I was danger to myself, basically, this is so dark for a JoJo Siwa question, but that's why I like JoJo Siwa, for those that are asking, because she was just like a light of positivity in my life at that time. And times when I was watching her videos were some of the only times I didn't want to do bad things to myself. So, that was just for everyone who's going to make fun of me for liking JoJo Siwa. You can still make fun of me if you want in the comments, because I want comments. But my favorite JoJo Siwa song is actually Worldwide Party, because that's what she opens her tour with. And I saw her last year on tour. And I just remember, like, the pure, just, like, joy. Because I was in the 5th row or something, or, like, the 3rd row. So I was super close, and I just remember, like, the absolute joy and happiness of when she popped up on the stage at the top of the little thing that she pops up on. And started singing Worldwide Party, and she was, like, she heelies around the stage. Like, instead of walking and running on the stage, she actually talked about it the other day in a video. She, hurt her ankle running around during rehearsals, and so now she heelies around the stage. So she was like heeling all over the place. Her outfit was all sparkly, and I just remember like the joy of being like, oh my gosh, I'm at a JoJo Siwa concert and JoJo was right there. This chick saved my life. Oh my gosh. And so yeah, every time I hear Worldwide Party, it's like a flashback to that fun time in my life. Wolf in Sheep's Clothing by Set It Off, yes or no? That is a song. And the answer is yes. That was also by Grace. I know all Grace's questions. Yes, Grace. I do love that song. Set It Off is a good band. Fun fact, I'm going to make a video about this probably at some point in story time, but right when I got out of the hospital, I was going to go see Set It Off and Sleeping with Sirens with my friend Eva, who did the Earth cleanup video with me. And then I got really sick and I almost passed out, and so we had to not go, and it was really sad, but I do love that song and I love Set It Off. What are ways that you learn things? So I had to like kind of rephrase this question because it was really hard to like put into a question because it was kind of like, yeah, it just was worded weirdly because of the way that I asked it. Weirdly? Is that a word? But the ways that I basically learn things, like ways that I educate myself, I'm not gonna lie, Twitter. But listen, I don't just like see things on Twitter and then believe them. I ask questions on Twitter. I follow a lot of scientists on Twitter who are really sweet and they will answer your questions. I also will see things on Twitter and I will think that's something I want to learn more about, or I'll see a fact on Twitter and I'm like, is that actually factual? Because if it is, I want to like know that fact, but I also don't want to just think that it's a fact and then like use it and then be lying to people, because people on Twitter lie sometimes. So, I don't like learn things from Twitter, but I see things that I kind of want to learn on Twitter, I guess. And then I go and do more research. So The Guardian, I don't love to just like believe everything The Guardian says, because I know that they are a biased outlet, because they're they're pretty liberal. Not gonna lie though, I've never found something that they've posted not in an opinion piece to be untrue. So I'm not gonna say they're like a reliable source just because they're definitely biased, but they're usually reliable and they're usually right. But The Guardian, if I see a headline from them, I'll click on it, and they always or usually cite scientific sources, so then I read those, hi Bella, then I read those, like, articles. How many JoJo books do you have, and which one is your favorite? Oh my gosh, let me go count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I have 13 JoJo books. And my favorite one, oh, I should have grabbed it while I was over there. I got it for Christmas or my birthday from my cousins. And then I think my sister helped pick it out, and it's hot pink. and I think it has a rainbow and a unicorn on it, and it's like sparkling. That sounded like the most immature 5-year-old thing that I could potentially like ever own. Listen, the amount of stuffed animals I have is the thing that makes me a 5-year-old, not the JoJo Siwa obsession. How did you become an activist, and has activism positively affected your life as well as negatively? So how I became an activist was I started seeing stuff on Instagram. I was kind of, my like activism thing was gun control. Like I really wanted to do something about gun control and stuff because I was really scared of all the shootings, because I remember since I was little, not really little, but like middle school little, I started like seeing stuff about shootings and understanding what it meant and like getting scared and not liking it and worrying about it. And then like school shootings were a thing, and it was like a whole thing, and so gun control was kind of my thing that I wanted to like be an activist with. Even though I didn't understand what I was talking about at the time, I do now understand the stuff with guns, but at the time I really didn't, as much as I would like to say that I did. And there were some shootings in my area. There was one not at my school, but at the park next to my school, involving people at my school. There was one at an elementary school by my house, so it's just a lot. So gun control is like really my thing, and I didn't really do much with it. And then this kid threatened to shoot me, and he had a gun, because he was mad at me for like caring about guns. So stop doing that. But I think just because I was so involved with activism and like looking at stuff on Instagram. My cat just broke the thing that was holding that, so sorry for the glare. I think just because I was looking at all the activism stuff on Instagram, Greta started to come up because activism and the Explore page, and I was like, wow, that's really cool. So I actually started following Greta because, not like following her on Instagram, but just following like stuff about her, because I thought it was just really cool that she had this platform and that she was so big and like had done so much with activism, if that made sense, like how big of an activist she was, because I hadn't ever seen anything like that. The closest thing I'd ever seen to that would be like the Parkland kids, but I didn't even know their names. I just kind of like recognized the one girl that didn't have hair. But I didn't really, like I cared about climate change and stuff. I didn't understand it, really. And so I was like, oh yeah, global warming's bad, like save the earth, like turn off your lights when you're not using them. Like that's the extent of what I understood. So I didn't really care. Like I wasn't watching her because I was like, OMG, activism and like the climate. But then I started watching her speeches, and again, I was watching them because I thought she was really well spoken and I really admired that. But as I started watching them, I started listening to what she was saying, and I was like, that's kind of concerning. And so I started learning more about her. I learned more about school strike. I decided I was going to start my own school strike. Luckily, Raquel was already there, so I wasn't alone. And that's just kind of how it started. And how has it affected my life positively as well as negatively? I want to say that activism has not impacted my life negatively. I used activism as an unhealthy coping skill for a while, and it was the way that I was an activist on purpose that damaged my health. It wasn't activism that damaged my health. I just used it as a tool to enable myself to damage my health. And so yeah, I don't love the like, there's a lot of people on Twitter going off about activism and how it's like ruining their life, and they're like, it's not cute that I'm an activist, it's ruining my effing life, and like all this stuff. And I'm like, well then don't do whatever you're doing. Like I'm gonna make a video later at some point about this, but so negatively, it hasn't affected my life negatively. I just myself has impacted my life negatively, and activism has been involved with it. But positively, there's actually, I think I'm gonna write a thing about this on Instagram tonight, an article going around about Greta and how activism, it's her mom talking about her, and like how activism helped her with her eating disorder and like all sorts of things. And I gotta say, I have no idea where I would be without activism. Again, I'll make a whole video, so I don't want to be super long-winded, especially because I'm already really long-winded and this video is like an hour long. I wouldn't have finished school early if it wasn't for activism, and I wouldn't have had the opportunities that I had to finish school early without activism. And like school honestly made me so depressed. Like school was such a terrible thing for my mental health, and like I honestly feel like I would probably be suicidal if it wasn't for activism, just because of the greater purpose that it gives you, and like the friends, I've been told before that I have Asperger's by psychiatrists, but my parents don't believe it, so I don't know if I have Asperger's or not. But I kind of think I do because there's some surefire signs. But I didn't ever talk to anyone at school, like ever. And so I had no friends, and I didn't mind having no friends. Like, it really didn't bother me. I wasn't like, I'm so lonely. But through activism, I've been able to meet friends that I'm like actually comfortable talking with, and like actually form really good relationships. And I feel like that's helped with the depression. I don't think I was depressed because I felt lonely, because I truly was okay by myself. But I just think that this has kind of been a boost to have these relationships. And I also just think like I said, that greater purpose, and it's been my motivation to recover with anorexia. If you've been following that little journey on my channel and on my Instagram and a little bit on Twitter, I would be in the hospital right now still if it wasn't for that, because I know that I need to be healthy and strong for activism so that I can go to things and do things. Whereas if I didn't have activism, I would be like, screw it, like I don't care, I want my eating disorder, like I don't want to recover. So, I mean, the biggest thing that it's done for me is made me not suicidal and given me all these relationships and all these friends and this purpose. It's also just fun. I really think it's fun. People are like, stop calling activism fun. I think activism is fun. I love activism, okay? And yeah, just all that stuff. Alright, this video has been extremely long and I can't get this stuff off of my hands. So I'm going to end it here, and I will do another one next time I need to dye my hair with the rest of the questions. Thank you so much for watching. I'm sorry if this was really weirdly edited, if the questions were like weird. I just feel like this wasn't a top-notch video, and I'm really sorry for that. I still think I'm going to post it because I know people are waiting for my answers to some of their questions. But again, I'm so sorry if this was a weird video. I feel like it was. The lighting was weird, but I tried, and I'm going to put it out there for you guys anyways. If you aren't subscribed, then you can do that if you feel like it. If you don't, then that's fine, but I would love it if you would. I'm trying to get to 600 subscribers this year so that next year I can get 2,000 and get monetized, because I think that would be really fun. If you liked the video, go ahead and like the video. The button looks like this, except for it's not pink, it's actually gray, and then it turns blue when you click it. So if you want to see the button turn blue, then press the button. I'm sorry if I'm being so obnoxious right now. I feel like Eugenia Cooney, I can't stop apologizing. Was that rude? That was not meant to be rude. Anyways, though, I love you guys so much. Thank you to everybody who asked questions, and if I didn't get to your question, it will be in the next video, so make sure notifications are on so you, like, get that video. Or if you follow me on Instagram, then I'll just, like, post it on my story when the video is out. If you have any more questions, or just, like, random questions about activism, about anorexia, like, recovery and stuff, or, like, literally anything, comment them on this video, and I will include them in the next Q&A hair dye video. And I will, if I remember, I hope I remember, I will insert a picture of what my hair looks like when it's done, like right after this, when I say goodbye and like put my hand on the camera. Okay, I love you guys so much. Thank you for watching, especially if you made it to the end. Like, subscribe, do all of the things that the YouTubers always tell you to do. I keep saying I love you guys, but I do love you guys, and peace out. I wanna go somewhere alone.